long before the red carpets and the Hollywood glow. Ryan Rodney Reynolds was just a kid in Vancouver, Canada, born on October 23, 1976. He grew up in a modest, working-class home where life was shaped by discipline and routine. His father, a former police officer turned food wholesaler, was a man of firm principles and few words. His mother, who worked in retail, brought the warmth that balanced the house. As the youngest of four boys, Ryan quickly learned that to survive in a loud, chaotic environment, he needed an edge. He developed a sharp wit and a quick sense of humor, not just to be funny, but as a defense mechanism. It was a way to stand out without ever feeling truly confident, because behind all the jokes was a boy struggling with deep anxiety and a constant fear of not being good enough. It was a battle he wouldn't speak about until many years later, once success gave him a platform to be vulnerable. As a child, he discovered that humor wasn't just for entertainment. It was protection. It was a tool to control situations, disarm criticism, and make people like him before they had a chance to reject him. That instinct, born from insecurity, would eventually become the very foundation of his entire career. His first real step into acting came at 15, with a small role in a Canadian teen drama. It gave him some early experience, but no fame, no money, and certainly no guarantees for the future. When the series ended, Ryan did what many young actors do. He believed Hollywood was waiting for him, that talent and hard work would be enough. So, in the early 1990s, he packed his bags and moved to Los Angeles, full of ambition and hope. But Hollywood wasn't waiting. Instead, he was met with years of brutal rejection. He faced failed auditions and landed short-lived roles in projects that went nowhere. There were sitcom pilots that never aired, low-budget films that disappeared without a trace, and constant reminders from casting directors that he just didn't fit the mold. They told him he wasn't handsome enough to be a leading man, not serious enough for drama, and not established enough to be trusted with a big role. As the years dragged on, the exciting dream he once had started to feel exhausting. It was draining him emotionally and financially. By the late 1990s, Ryan Reynolds was completely burned out. He was struggling to survive, questioning his talent, and seriously considering quitting acting altogether. He thought about returning to Canada to follow his father's path and become a police officer. Maybe stability mattered more than dreams. Maybe Hollywood just wasn't meant for him. But just as he was ready to walk away for good, a small but meaningful opportunity arrived. In 1998, he was cast in the sitcom Two Guys, a girl and a pizza place. The show ran for 3 seasons and finally gave him what he desperately needed: visibility, steady work, and a chance to truly showcase his incredible comedic timing. Audiences liked him, and producers started to notice. But even then, Hollywood refused to take him seriously. They still saw him as just the charming, funny guy, not a real star. The early 2000s became a confusing time for him. He experienced moderate success but couldn't seem to earn true respect from the industry. He starred in films like National Lampoon's Van Wilder, which developed a cult following but failed to get any critical acclaim. This only reinforced the industry's perception of him as a lightweight, disposable actor. He took on roles in bigger movies like Blade, Trinity, and the Amityville Horror, which brought him more exposure but no clear direction for his career. It felt like for every one step forward, he was taking 2 steps sideways. Then came what was supposed to be his big breakthrough moment: Green Lantern in 2011. This was a massive, big-budget superhero film, backed by a major studio. It was marketed as the beginning of a huge franchise that would finally place him among Hollywood A-list elite. But instead, the movie completely collapsed. It was a critical and commercial disaster, turning Ryan Reynolds into a punchline overnight. The failure damaged his reputation and left him creatively frustrated and emotionally drained. He later admitted that he felt trapped inside a system that cared more about playing it safe than being authentic. After a failure that big, many actors would have retreated, choosing safer, smaller roles to recover. But Ryan made the most dangerous choice of his career. He decided to double down on a character that studios had actively rejected for years. Deadpool was a violent, sarcastic, self-aware anti-hero who was considered far too risky, too offensive, and too unconventional for mainstream success. For years, the project was shut down over and over again. Executives claimed no one would watch it, no one would fund it, and no one would take it seriously. But Ryan refused to let the idea die. He pushed relentlessly behind the scenes, agreed to a much lower salary, and fought for creative control. He was betting everything on authenticity, not on getting approval from the studio system. When Deadpool finally premiered on February 12, 2016, it didn't just succeed. It shattered every expectation. It earned over $780 million worldwide and completely redefined what a superhero film could be. It proved that audiences didn't want perfection. They wanted honesty, humor, and self-awareness. In that moment, Ryan Reynolds wasn't just successful, he was finally understood. The sequel, Deadpool 2, confirmed that this wasn't just luck. It was perfect alignment. It was the result of years of failure leading him to a role that fit him perfectly. But his story doesn't end with acting. In 2012, he married actress Blake Lively. Ironically, their relationship began on the set of Green Lantern, the very film that almost ended his career. Together, they built one of Hollywood's most respected marriages, grounded in humor, mutual support, and a fierce protection of their privacy. They are raising 4 children and have redefined what success looks like, shifting the focus away from fame and toward family. At the same time, Ryan was reinventing himself as a brilliant businessman. In 2018, he acquired a stake in Aviation Gin and completely transformed the brand with his own creative marketing. He wrote and starred in viral ads that felt personal and funny, not corporate. This led to the brand's sale in 2020 and a deal worth up to $610 million. Then, in 2019, he got involved with Mint Mobile, once again using storytelling and humor to disrupt an industry dominated by giants. This culminated in a 2023 deal with T-Mobile, valued at an incredible $1.35 billion. He cemented his reputation not just as an entertainer, but as a strategic thinker who understands branding, culture, and timing better than almost anyone. All the while, he continues to speak openly about his lifelong struggles with anxiety and mental health. He reminds us that success doesn't erase our inner struggles. It just changes how we manage them. Today, Ryan Reynolds stands as living proof that failure is not a dead end. It's a training ground. He shows us that rejection doesn't define your worth, that persistence matters more than raw talent, and that being authentic will always beat being perfect. From a nervous kid in Vancouver to a struggling actor ready to quit, to a global superstar, entrepreneur, and cultural icon, Ryan Reynolds didn't win because he was flawless. He won because he refused to stop when everything and everyone told him to. So if you stayed until the end of this story, ask yourself this one question. If rejection didn't stop him, if failure didn't stop him, if fear didn't stop him, then what's stopping you? If this story inspired you even a little, then please like this video and subscribe for more complete Hollywood life stories. And comment below which Ryan Reynolds moment or movie inspired you the most, because the next story you hear might just change the way you see your own journey forever. Thanks for watching.